Welcome to my channel. I am GDP, and if you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below. Today we're making a video on some information that I wish I had when I was a newer player, and I am going to give it to you guys kind of in this. It's going to be kind of short, and just quick, just a little bit of a few things. The first thing I wanted to mention off is marking everything on your map. Um, this is kind of something that I didn't do when I first started playing, but to upgrade all your statues, aka your blessings, um, you got to collect a bunch of little blue little spirits or orange little geos down below in down over in this section of the map. But once you go ahead and collect them, go ahead and hit a custom marker and mark where you collected it, so that way you know that you collected that one in the future. So when you do go ahead to go and max your statue, you know you collected that, and you don't have to venture around the map endlessly wondering if you picked it up or you didn't pick it up. That is something that I actually had to go through on this first section here. I played for several hours. I was probably at statue level 5 or 6 before I wanted to max statues, and I didn't mark anything on my map. I ended up having to do a couple laps around this section of the entire map to make sure that I picked up everything and didn't miss a single one. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that there is actually an interactive map here. I'll go ahead and show you guys a little picture of it real quick. This interactive map, you're actually able to see every single location of the Geoculus or the Animalculus. I don't know if I said those correctly, but it basically details every single location. And if you click on the little icons, it actually gives a little description on the left side of some people that have done it before and give a little description on where it is and how to get to it. And then once you do get it, you can actually hit a mark it and say like, hey, I collected this, and it'll just kind of like disappear for you, so that way you can keep track of which ones you have picked up and which ones you have not. So I think that's a very helpful tool for the game. This interactive map also has artifact farming routes and monster farming routes. That's not something I'm going to be touching in this video. I'll be touching that in a later video, but just wanted to make sure that people know that you should mark your map, or at least be using the interactive map to track all your stuff that you're collecting, to make sure that you have gotten everything if you're trying to max out your statues, which I think most people will, because that will improve your stamina, give you more experience, and several other bonuses coming from those statues. But mostly the stamina, I think, is a huge thing. That way it will be able to make you sprint farther, glide farther, and various other things. And that comes to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, is gliding. When you're exploring the map, I think it's actually a really good idea to start from a high point and kind of just glide to wherever you want to go to. So like, for example, if I wanted to glide, I could have glide just right to the statue, and I needed to rotate this little bird thing here. And then another thing about movement here is, you actually, if you're exploring the map, you're actually going to want to set your party up to have 2 of the Anemo reactives in your reactive characters in your team. That way it decreases your stamina consumption by 15% and increases your movement speed by 10%. And that is really good for just exploring around the map, and it will save a bunch of time for you. You'll be able to climb farther, you'll be able to glide farther, you'll be able to sprint farther, and you also will just, in general, search around the map a lot quicker. The next thing I wanted to talk about is actually, if you have, when you're climbing something or you're sprinting around, you actually want to use your tallest character in your party. the game actually makes it so that longer legs actually climb faster and also sprint faster. Um, so that is true to real life physics, and that's kind of cool that they added to that into this game. That if you're say running around with this guy right here, Diluc, you actually are running faster versus if you say you had Sucrose out, because Sucrose has shorter legs compared to Diluc. Sorry if I butcher these names. I am still somewhat new to the game and don't really know how to pronounce everyone's names correctly. And then the next thing about movement is if say you are in a dangerous area or your stamina, if you're swimming around and your stamina is really low, you can go ahead and just teleport to wherever you want and get to safety. Teleporting, there's no limitations on that, and you can do that whenever you need to. The next thing I wanted to talk about are these little plants right here. These things you actually don't collect materials from. They actually drop a chest. All you gotta do is you go up to them, press F, have a hero that can shoot arrows, and just hit each individual ball separately, and a chest will spawn right next to where that plant was. Oops, I just missed that arrow. And pop the last one, and a chest will spawn. So that is something that I didn't know when I was a newer player and discovered a little bit later on, and I realized that I missed a bunch of chests by not doing these. The next thing I wanted to talk about are these little statues that pop up on the map, and if you wanted to farm them for chest and find the little gold spirit thing or the ghost spirit thing that flies into them, a nice little trick that you can do is actually use your elemental vision, and it'll actually kind of give you an idea of where these spirits directions are. So this one's general direction is this way. So if I venture off in this direction, I will eventually find it. And next thing I wanted to talk about when you're exploring the map, whenever you see cracked rocks like this, you actually want to use a hero, preferably one with a claymore, but anyone with a sword is fine. Just go ahead and break open those rocks, and usually there is some sort of hidden material behind it, whether it be a chest, whether it be one of those Anemoculus or Geoculus. So sometimes you'll run around those on the map and go ahead and break it open, and you'll go ahead and see that. Next thing I wanted to talk about are artifacts. I think if as a starting player, it doesn't necessarily matter which artifacts you choose for set bonuses. But you kind of in general just want to go with ones that have attack percent. Attack percent, attack percent, attack percent is kind of what I say for these starting heroes. Kind of all because what you're doing in the early game is you're trying to just pick one hero. You're going to want to focus that one hero, make it your DPS carry, and just stack attack percent onto them. Pretty much every hero in the game, at least in the early stages, you're going to want to just focus on attack percent. So one of the bonuses, if you ever have it, is a resolution of Sojourner. Sorry if I probably butchered that word as well. But that two-piece actually gives an attack percent of plus 18%. So that's fantastic for pretty much any hero, especially your DPS hero. But you're going to want to go ahead and just get anything with attack onto it. And the secondary stats don't really matter as much, but you just want to be looking for those attacks. I also don't recommend upgrading every single artifact that you have. Like for my Venti here, I don't have pretty much any of his artifacts upgraded. The ones I do have upgraded were actually just kind of like hand-me-downs from other heroes that I found better artifacts for and just put them onto him. So yeah, like my Diluc here, he only has about like +4, +5 on his because Fischl right now is my main DPS carry. And that is the next thing I wanted to talk about is 4-star heroes actually can be really, really, really good, especially once you get them to max constellation. I know it may take a free-to-play player a while to do that, but it is a little more accessible for a hero for 4-star to get max constellation versus having multiple, say, Dilucs or multiple Ventis. Kind of that kind of situation, because Diluc, his power doesn't really come until you get the first and second constellations, which I don't even have, so I don't even have him as my main DPS. I actually use 4-star official as my main DPS because I do have max constellation on her, and she is able to perform really, really, really well. So that is kind of want to talk about heroes there. And then the very last thing I wanted to talk about is resin. You want to make sure that you are using all your resin as every single day. To to use your resin, you either are going to want to do ley lines as in the early game. Do not do the golden ley lines. Only do the blue ones. Let's see, where are they at? Right here. So don't do these gold ones. Don't do these blue ones. These ones give you your hero XP books or papers, whatever you want to call them. So these are a good source to use your treasures. But primarily, what you're going to use your little crescent moons on are farming these bosses here. These bosses give you materials for upgrading either a weapon or a hero, and are just really good in general just to farm, because you're going to need these mats once you upgrade your heroes and get into the higher AR levels. So go ahead, farm these. These cost 40 each. Right here, this one costs 60. So yeah, so you're definitely gonna want to be farming these. Hit that reset here. Like I got this one that resets in 102 hours for me. But hit these as much as possible to collect the farm the mats that you want. But don't do them for the artifacts. You don't, especially at the low AR levels. Your chances of getting these 5-star artifacts are super, super, super low. Just kind of collect what you can. You're able to get 4-star artifacts from these. It's a little bit better chance that that happens, but there are other methods of getting 4-star artifacts that I'll touch on in a later video. But that's kind of just one of the gist of it is farm these bosses or farm the blue ley line for your little original resins. So yeah, so thanks for tuning in for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it might be a little rocky on content for this game. I am somewhat new, but I have gathered a lot of information. I am soaking it up like a sponge right now, and I'm going to relay that information off to you guys as I progress through the game. And I am a very good min-maxer in every single game that I go into, if you guys don't know. And I believe I'll be a good source of information for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.